Welcome back. The Isle of Man is considering scrapping the state pension triple lock to save its social security system.
So, higher life expectancy means the island's pension fund is projected to run out by 2047. Question is, should the rest of Britain have a look at what they're doing and follow?
Well, let's bring in Ben Cope. He's political commentator with Young Voices, and Angela Madden, who is the chair of WASPI Women. Welcome to both of you. Angela, I'll start with you. You would be opposed to this. Tell us why.
Well, good morning. The triple lock was brought in for a reason, and that reason being that the state pension in the UK is amongst the worst in Europe. So we have a lot of pensioner poverty. And we need to increase the state pension over time rather than all in one go, so that people living on the state pension and perhaps a meagre occupational pension have enough money to live on. I mean, it's only above 50% of the living wage. That's what we expect older people to live on in this country, and it simply isn't enough.
Ben, why do you disagree with that?
So I think previously I've made arguments about generational fairness, where I think, you know, we've got a sort of a large cohort of older pensioners in this country who, you know, despite what the other guests said, are the richest demographic in the country. You know, for sure, not all of them are, but on average, they are wealthier than the other demographics. And, you know, we've got a pension that is increasing, and it's younger taxpayers like me who are paying for it. But I think that the debate, the context for it is slowly shifting from one of fairness just to economic reality. You know, we had some really big news last week with the UK fertility rate falling to 1.44. So that means there are going to be even more old people and a smaller number of taxpayers to pay for it. So I think, unfortunately, this is just going to be a sort of impossible economically to do in the long term.
How old are you, Ben?
25.
Oh, well, wait till you become 55 and you'll see what Angela's talking about. And all this business about you're paying for it, you haven't paid for anything. You haven't been on the planet long enough to pay for anything. People like Angela there has paid for her own pension. She's worked and grafted throughout her life and everybody like her. Why would you, I just don't understand why you would take that away from people. They have grafted really, really hard.
Well, so going back to the point I just made, it's not about fairness. It's that I don't think the British state should go bust by paying pensioners. I think, you know, for sure we need to make sure that people have enough money to live on comfortably, but that doesn't mean that we should pay a sort of an infinitely large amount. You know, Britain shouldn't be a pension fund with a government or state attached to it. We need to run this country sensibly.
Angela, is that fair that there is now a smaller, younger cohort who are having to pay for a larger, wealthier cohort who are living longer?
They're not having to pay for it. They haven't paid anything. They say they're having to pay for it. Angela's paid for her own pension.
Well
she has. I mean, that's a fact. He hasn't paid anything. He's 25.
Yeah, but we're talking about people up until they retire, Eamon, so you'd be included in the cohort of people who are contributing to their pension payments. And this is not a question of scrapping pensions, it's about scrapping the triple lock, which has become unaffordable, Angela, has it not?
If only Ben was right and we were all absolutely rich and we paid loads of tax, then we wouldn't even be having this conversation. Yeah. The reason we're having this conversation is, on average, state pension income is only £198 per week. And because of different working practices, many people earning today's state pension, especially women, haven't been able to make up enough pension savings. Now, the governments over time are doing things to remedy that. The new state pension only came in 2016, and that's the state pension that's £220 a week. Paltry still, but much better than the £169 a week the majority of state pensioners today are receiving. And if we reduce income for pensioners, that will have a direct effect on the economy. Pensioners spend all the money they receive because they have to. It still isn't enough to live. We've already lost the winter fuel allowance, So what will happen is £200 from every pensioner household in this economy will not go into the general economy. It will go into the bank accounts of the energy companies, because we have to pay our bills first before we do any discretionary spending.
Ben, a final thought on this, because I mean, it's not like pensioners can go and get a job to make up the shortfall, and they don't know how long they're going to live for now.
Yes.
This country spends about £1.1 trillion a year. Nearly a third of that is spent on different forms of spending, government spending, that ultimately make their way to older people. I think as we've got an ageing population, we need to review this. It's not affordable.
Okay.
Okay, thank you both very much indeed.